Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of them slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like, damn, man, you cut up. There's nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, keep on sobbing, got this bitch off the hand. Got this juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, this is salt. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. Hey! One way, one way, one way, one way, one way. Coming up on my I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside where soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fuckers scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drum, black and yellow air ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit. Lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third. Lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all stepping. Kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS. A mean right. That's mean right. We build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoking, so we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit.
West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the To be one West to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me, rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me, I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening, every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends, or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit, I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino, so what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one West rising to prominence. Cause I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got group times for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. A showstopper, been as proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm going, I'm off Patron, a premium. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, down the deep, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because U.P.K. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me.
Yeah, on 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man, busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and they head with that shit.
Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I did it. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried. I got rank for real, I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga. Watch yourself. They say you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dawg. So I brought this chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas to the end of that bitch part. If you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine in. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need your mo. Niggas joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dawg? Guns and butter, baby boy. U.P.K. top, dawg. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that econ line van to a damn tank. I got choppers stashed in my blood brought. Flying in, I ain't show no mercy. I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel. I got time to kill. Haters thought I died. I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He's nice, but he don't show them skills how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a made, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. Said they want my life. I ain't worried. I got Ray for real.
You ain't no Israelite, but you a gospelite, bitch. Fuck you talking about? If that nigga won't war, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga named the Slayer. What you think, boy? You done the prize. Cold shit, we bite it. UPK, you shot. Little bitch think I'm crazy. Think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. Sharp on shit, I'm bout it. UPK too solid. Fuck nigga don't want war. It ain't enough clips in your army. All the bitches wanna take my piece. All they hoes wanna take my piece. All the nigga wanna take my piece. No, I can't let a dog take it from me. I can't let a dog take it from me. You a hoe study and you dummy. And these bitches really out this bitch walking around like they don't know nothing. And a lame nigga fall for them and get set up for the coins and get gunned down, man down. Shoulda took the time, get a damn no. But I see the shawty and I show her. She could never get a priest hoe. You a dirt ass, rust ass neck bitch with a fake ass jury. In Tennessee while I'm touring. It's a Tennessee, but she luring. Yeah, that sucker duck bitch ass boy, fuck nigga over that bitch muggin'. I say, if that nigga won't war, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga named the Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft cold shit, we bout it. UPK too solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy. Think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. You a lame nigga down to me. Eat candy, but I'm sucker free. You a little nigga, ain't none of me. Base up, boy, I fit a beat. Yeah, AR-223. Draco with a magazine. Yeah, the clip run like limousine. I shoot your ass in the spleen. Boy, I bust your ass in the temple. We debating by the temple. Tell the truth, boy, you's a victim. And you're scoring him off like a lizard. Nigga walk down my road. Why does nigga come down my road? Boy, come down my road. Boy, I charge your ass toll fee. I'm a real big priest, nigga. UPK play for keys, nigga. Commander General get a damn order, but ain't nothing me to damn kill you. I stuck in his ass like a cat. All weapons, boys full of tech. Boy, like a close comeback. Nigga got popped off for a neck. If that nigga won't war, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga named the Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft cold shit, we bout it. UPK too solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy. Think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch.
Christ said 7 women gon' be on one nigga in the end time. Nigga, fuck wrong with you, boy. Stressed by that damn hoe ass bitch. Fake ass nigga too. Dumb ass motherfucker. Fuck you.
Backstage.
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rapper, busy man shit, nigga. They take their head over, nigga.
I read where Eve did to Adam. I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no hoe to lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, it's an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening. Is it fact if revenge was a woman, now I scope that bitch like Jack. So Tower War, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand. Call it young guy, you a bird. Keep me here. demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What saying something, I ain't hear this shit life. It ain't on who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain frame. Shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that's feed you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow side, yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
I just wanna see my enemies fall. Yeah.
Hey, look, I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s while they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Hell, I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Trying to build my own city, homie. Enough room to put my niggas on it. Then start a couple business on it. Fuck any heathen never shitted on me. Yeah. Public housing we done lived through. Trying to put that in my rear view. Gold rolls what I still do. I can see the picture with a clear view. Gotta separate the snakes and all you fuck niggas that's gon' hate. Daily pray to God I don't catch another case. But that's a small risk that I feel I gotta take. Only certain niggas, they gon' feel this. Still deliver verses on that real shit. If I get a couple million, I'ma bust this shit down with these children. I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s while they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Hell, I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Don't get up out of bounds, homie. Got killers with them rounds on them. Look like I'm fed from the drum. Look, don't make me make the reaper rain down on them. I can give a fuck if you rock blue. And I was Sue Woo from the Fruittown crew. Cops still shoot us every time we move. They hate you, nigga, like they hate me too. Just know that brotherhood is a weapon. Build another zone, get protected. Too many sisters in the city been molested. Now I'm stacking soldiers off the block like it's Tetris. Woo! Know that truth, it give you chills, don't it? Steady ringing in your ears, won't it? If I'm blessed to make a meal, I'ma bust that shit down with my real homies. I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s while they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. And I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow.
Yeah. To all them children that grew up with parents strung out on drugs. Yeah.
I just wanna bow.
Hope you do too. And I hope you do too. Yeah. Man, to the brother that had a rib and she left him for whatever reason. Yeah.
I just wanna bow.
I hope you do too. And to the sister, you know what I'm saying, that had that nigga leave her. Yeah, yeah.
Nigga, I just
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like that, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, Kimo Sabe got this bitch off the hand. Got the juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit.
Hey, one West, one West, one West, one West, one West.
Coming up on my divorce.
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fuckers scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drum, black and yellow Air Ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit, lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all steppin', kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, Kimo Sabe. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up on my divorce.
West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy, it get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends, or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars by coach. Politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of One West rising to prominent. Cause I be One West to the death till they bury me. I be One west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got group pies for Uber. Rhymes hard like they've been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper, been as proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm going, I'm off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, down the deep, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because U.P. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
Busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and they head with that shit. Friday, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They say you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dawg. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even count. These niggas don't run it like we run it, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till death do us part. So if you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch, bless your heart. Fine in, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dawg? Guns and butter, baby boy. U.P.K top, dawg. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that econ line into a damn tank. I got choppers stashed in the attic like they had Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in, I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a made, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real.
Yeah, nigga. Fake ass nigga.
You ain't no Israelite, but you a gospelite, bitch.
Nigga, hoe Fuck you talking about?
If that nigga want war, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga name is Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK, shoot solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood, hood. More than you, bitch. Sharp on shit, I'm bout it. UPK too solid. Fuck nigga don't want war. Ain't enough clips in your army. All the bitches wanna take my piece. All they hoes wanna take my piece. All they nigga wanna take my piece. No, I can't let a dog take it from me. I can't let a dog take it from me. You a hoe study and you dummy. And these bitches really out this bitch walking around like they don't know nothing. And a lame nigga fall for them and get set up for the coins and get gunned down, man down. Should've took the time, get a damn no. But I see the sorry and I show her. She could never get a priest hoe. You a dirt ass, rust ass neck bitch with a fake ass jewelry. In Tennessee while I'm touring. It's a Tennessee, but she luring. Yeah, that sucker duck bitch ass boy, fuck nigga over that bit muggin'. I say, if that nigga want war, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga name is Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK too solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood, hood. More than you, bitch. You a lame nigga down to me. Eat candy, but I'm sucker free. You a little nigga, ain't nothing to me. Base up, boy, I fit a beat. Yeah, AR-223. Draco with a magazine. Yeah, the clip run like limousine. I shoot your ass in the spleen. Boy, I bust your ass in the temple. We debating, why the temple? Tell the truth, boy, you's a victim. And you're scoring off like a lizard. Nigga walk down my road. Why does nigga come down my road? Boy, come down my road. Boy, I charge your ass toll fee. I'm a real big priest, nigga. UPK play for keys, nigga. Commanding general get a damn order, but ain't nothing me to damn kill you. I stuck in his ass like a cat. All weapons, boys full of tech. Boy, like a close comeback. Nigga got popped off for a neck. If that nigga want war, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga name is Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK too solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood, hood. More than you, bitch.
Christ said 7 women gonna be on one nigga in the end time. Nigga, fuck wrong with you, boy? Stressed by that damn hoe ass bitch. Fake ass nigga too. Dumb ass motherfucker. Fuck you.
Backstage. Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rapper, busy man, shit, nigga. They tear their head over, nigga.
I read where Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no hoe to lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert, another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this that exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with ya. From the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers can they spin, I ain't listening, is it fact if revenge was a woman, I scope that bitch like Jagger. So Tower War, we gon' run the summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it Young Baby. How you real trigger on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit like it ain't about who got this gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain frame. Shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand and feed you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
I just wanna see my enemies fall. Yeah. Hey, look, I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s while they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. And I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Trying to build my own city, homie. Enough room to put my niggas on it. Then start a couple business on it. Fuck any heathen, never shitted on me. Yeah. Public housing we done lived through. Trying to put that in my real view. Gold rolls, what I still do. I can see the picture with a clear view. Gotta separate the snakes and all you fuck niggas that's gon' hate. Daily pray to God don't catch another case. But that's a small risk that I feel I gotta take. Only certain niggas, they gon' feel this. Still deliver verses on that real shit. If I get a couple million, I'ma bust this shit down with these children. I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s while they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. And I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Don't get up out of bounds, homie. Got killers with them rounds on them. Look like I'm fed from the drum. Look, maybe make the reaper rain down on them. I can give a fuck if you rock blue. And I was Sue Woo from the Fruittown crew. Cops still shoot us every time we move. They hate you, nigga, like they hate me too. Just know that brotherhood is a weapon. Build another zone, get protected. Too many sisters in the city been molested. Now I'm stacking soldiers off the block like it's Tetris. Woo! Know that truth, it give you chills, don't it? Steady ringing in your ears, won't it? If I'm blessed to make a meal, I'ma bust that shit down with my real homies. I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s while they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. And I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Yeah. Tired them children. They grew up with parents strung out on drugs. Yeah. I just wanna bow. Hope you do too. And I hope you do too. Yeah. Man, to the brother that had a real and she left him for whatever reason. Yeah. I just wanna bow. I hope you do too. And to the sister, you know what I'm saying, that had that nigga leave her. Yeah, yeah. Nigga, I just wanna bow. To my niggas that's locked up. I hope you do too. Man, I hope you niggas see the light of day. Yeah, I just wanna bow. Yeah, I just wanna bow.
Shalom on Christ. This Office of 1,000 Yahweh, and it's the Monday Night History class. All right. We'll go ahead and get started, get into it. All right. First off, this is the topic is about Jeffrey Epstein. Anybody know anything about Jeffrey Epstein at all? Epstein, or whatever you want to call his name?
Lord Christ.
Son of Christ. So you know anything about Jeffrey Epstein? You know anything? Yeah, come. I said I'm teaching about Jeffrey Epstein. You know anything about him at all?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay, Kyle, what you know about him?
Shoot, you got an island where you take kids that have rich black folks and rich black folks. Maybe he.
You said he what?
I said he got an island where you take little kids that have rich white folks and rich black folks. Maybe he the kid and have sex with them. That's what I heard.
All right, no sweat. I haven't heard about them eating the kids, but I have heard about them having sex with the kids, right? So today,
if I may,
go ahead.
This young man Ron checking in. It is a brother that I do want to take account for. I don't know if he's on the line or not.
All right, first of all, did you talk to the brother by himself?
Oh, for sure.
You went to the brother himself?
Sure.
All right. Do you have my number? All right, take down this number, all right?
I'm ready right now.
All right, 919-536-8093. All right.
8093.
And I'll put you through the proper channels with everything, all right? All right, text me about that. Text me about it after class, all right? Because we have a special protocol for anybody that takes somebody to counsel. So if anybody that don't understand, if you have a brother that offends you, you will first go to them, he and me alone, right? The next step is he has to say Salaki and say, okay, yeah, you're right, brother, I'm wrong. If he says anything other than that, then that means you have to take him to counsel. You understand? So I know that's more the brotherhood class, but that's more important than history class. You understand? So history is just, something we talk a little bit about. We just, today, we just talking about the hypocrisy of America, right? How you see how R. Kelly, for instance, right? He went to jail for how long? How long? Anybody know how long R. Kelly went to jail? I can't remember the exact time. Anybody know?
I think they gave him 15 or 20.
Mm-hmm. Gave him years, right? So for I would say, don't get me wrong, it's an evil thing to do to have any type of sex trafficking or any type of sex smuggling or anything like that, right? It's any human smuggling, human trafficking, any of those things is evil any type of way that you do it, right? But with America, it seems as though as long as you trafficking to the wealthy elite, it's okay. There's no rules. It's fine. You don't have to worry about, going to prison like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about a lot of these things. So, but if you were a black man and you do it, that's why we got to be even stricter with how we conduct ourselves, right? Because we're going to be the ones persecuted, because when they wrote their laws, they didn't write them for us. They wrote them for them. How, they said that the Constitution, when they said every man created equal, they had nothing in mind talking about a black man when he said that, because you wasn't considered a human being at that time. So when it comes to that, these laws wasn't made for them. They purposely left a lot of the laws vague so that they can, if you have money, you can get a clever lawyer to get you out of it, right? If you got millions of dollars, you can pay a good lawyer. and you can get out of it. If you got enough political connections, you can get out of whatever you're trying to do. You get what I'm saying? All right. So Jeffrey Epstein. All right. Okay. You go down to the you gotta do a little bit for me real quick. You gotta click it in StreamYard. Yeah, you see it right there on the bottom, next to the one that got right in the middle.
Okay.
Click that and hit add to stream. No, StreamYard.
Yeah, right, actually.
And click add to stream. Okay. All right. It's Wikipedia for Jeffrey Epstein. All right. Let's get a little bit of history on him. All right. Can somebody check the sound on the StreamYard for me real quick? Just to make sure. All right. So this is Jeffrey Edward Epstein, right? He was born on January 20th, 1953, and died August 10th, 2019. He was an American sex offender and financier. Epstein, who was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York City, began his professional life by teaching at the Dalton School in Manhattan, despite lacking a college degree. So first off, black people, we can't get nowhere without having no degree, right? He was able to go. This is a private school in Manhattan. He was able to get in and teach math, right, without having a degree, right? Then it was a little controversy because he's going to parties and stuff, right? He's going to the high school parties where they drinking and talking to the girls there, and he made them feel uncomfortable, right? He made them feel uncomfortable. All right. He made them feel uncomfortable. So with them being so uncomfortable, they ended up reporting them to the school and everything. But he used his connections to not really let it affect them, basically, right? Because he met some of the people that went to this school. Their parents were, this is Manhattan. So if you think about, anything about New York, Manhattan is the, that's like the, what's the rich side of Atlanta in? Buckhead. That's the Buckhead of New York, right? That's where all the rich people live. Go ahead.
You say the west side or north side?
No, I already answered. It was Buckhead.
Okay, north side.
Buckhead, Atlanta was that's the Buckhead of New York is Manhattan, right? That's where all the wealthy people live at. So, and this is the private school he's teaching at. So he's meeting with all of the, the governors, the mayors, and the financial elite that's their school. All of those Wall Street executives, they all live in Manhattan, sending their kids to school, right? Sending their kids to this school. So he's already getting in with them, so he knows them, and now he goes and meets somebody after he leaves. They get him out of the school because of a little sexual misconduct and everything. He was acting a little fishy around the little girls there. They said in the hallways he paid close attention to the little girls there, right? So then after somebody said something about it at the school, he eventually just got dismissed for quote unquote poor performance, right? So then he gets a job at Bear Stearns, right? Now Bear Stearns is a investment bank, right? New York-based global investment bank. They do securities trading, and it's a brokerage firm, right? This is before, they end up failing in 2008. This is one of those banks that I'm talking about had money, man, money. right? They also participated in a lot of those scams they had in the early 2000s before the 2008, crash. They were in a lot of those different scams and everything, right? So they took a lot of money. All right. So, it was started by Joseph Ainsley Bear and Robert Stearns, right? If I'm not mistaken, I have to, I have to, I have to check on everything to see. You have to do more, investigation. But Stearns, I know, is a people have the name Stearns are that is a Jewish name, just like Epstein. Anytime they have those stings or whatever, a lot of them. But Joseph Bear, he was a Jewish man as well. So them Jewish people, like we said before, they stick to each other, right? So it's just nothing saying that Stearns was a Jewish person. But I know the name Stearns, a lot of people are Jewish that are that use that name. All right. Somebody about to say something?
No, sir. Just responded.
Okay, that's good. All right. If I remember correctly, also Jeff Epstein was a Jewish man as well. So they all were Jewish people. So when they say that Jewish people don't run the world and they get special privileges, even among higher echelon people than even other devils, right? They get even more special privileges, right? So he's able to go in and do all type of evil, right? He go in. He had a anybody ever heard of a pyramid scheme before? All right. He basically did a pyramid scheme with human trafficking. Well, that's clever as hell, ain't it? How you do a pyramid scheme with human trafficking, right? So this devil, he would have, like, say, one girl he would go meet, but a lot of the girls that was brought by this lady named Ghislaine Maxwell, right? She was like a socialite, don't really do nothing, kind of like your what's them chicks, the Kardashians, don't really have a talent. They just people just know them because of their parents or whatever, but they don't have any talents themselves. Like the Kardashians, they're known because of their father, Robert Kardashian, which was part of O.J. Simpson's lawyers for that trial that he had. Right, he was part of that defense trial, that defense set of lawyers. You about to say something?
Block out of one. If I may, just like the chick, the Paris Hilton. She considered a socialite too, a talentless socialite. You know, living off the privilege of who her father is. Her father owns the Hilton Hotel chain.
Oh, exactly.
So, she was that one while she was popular like the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
Been kind of lately. She's been kind of quiet, but a few years ago, her name was out there too, for no reason at all.
Yep. Exactly. Like, go ahead.
No, I yield. That was it.
That was it. All right, no sweat. Yeah, Pop. She just famous for doing nothing. Her, who the chick that did the slut walk? Amber Rose, right? Popular and famous for doing nothing. There was other ones. I think Lori Harvey. She don't do nothing. Just popular for being, you know, her parents are, or you know, Steve Harvey's her adopted father or whatever, stepfather, whatever the case is. And because he's famous, now she's famous. You know what I'm saying? Just famous for not really having any talents at all, right? So that's who they are. That's who Ghislaine Maxwell is. And so because you know, especially when you think of these these kids that are raised in this type of environment where their parents are already famous, they pretty much given whatever they want their whole life, and they feel as though they're above the law, right? So like with her coming into this, like they were describing her and Jeffrey Epstein as like a match made in hell. You know what I mean? So like they were like, they don't really know the extent of their relationship. They were like soulmates on the, what they were doing, but they don't know if they really even had sex with each other like that. But they were like soulmates with each other. They probably did at some point or whatever. But then but then she liked being, because you ever have somebody like people, y'all brothers, y'all know how it go. Like, in the old days, you have a pimp, right? And you got your bottom B. You know what I'm saying? You got the pimp and you got your bottom B. You may not even have sex with her like that, right? But she your one that keeps the whole business going. Because if you know anything about women they're more like social than men are, right? So in order for him to lure these women, it's always better to have other women to do it, right? Because if you go as a man, you can't be like, you could be the most charming man in the world, right? The most charm, had the most game, right? But you only have a ceiling on how far you can really get, right? Until you have another woman that backs up your BS, right? Now, if you had that woman, it's something they call social proofing, right? So if you have a woman there, it's easier to get women to do stuff if you already got other women that say is okay. Just like, how you go to you go to a club or something, right? And you go talk to a sister, right? She got to go get all of her friends to approve and say, okay, yeah, you should go talk to him. You should go talk to him. But you have one nappy head one, right? It's like you have one that probably not that attractive. I'll leave it as that. She say, nah, don't we go? We came together, we lead together. And now because of that one friend said no, she gonna tell you no, right? Am I saying something we don't know about, right? Am I saying something we don't know about? Everybody familiar with this, right? Y'all can answer. Y'all familiar with this? All right. So it's something called social proofing. You understand? So if you have a woman that's already there, where other women feel more safe and comfortable and all of this because she's there, she's with them, then now, I could go ahead, I feel more safe. Just like a lot of times when serial killers, they have a woman with them and she backs it up, other women will come along with them. Like if if a hitchhiker's a woman, for instance, right? You a man all by yourself, they won't hop in the car. But if you have a woman with you, they'll hop in the car, right? It's that type of situation. All right. So, and the same thing, if y'all want to watch something interesting, is something called what is it? The Tinder Swindler is on Netflix. It's kind of funny, but there's a guy basically he even showed how he used his ex-wife or baby mother, whatever she was to him. We call her his wife because it's his baby's mother anyway. That was his wife or ex-wife, whatever she is to him. He even used her to help get other women to swindle them out of their money. Because once they seen that he was still close with her and all this, he's still tight with all of his family, and his ex-wife was still, cool with him, then, okay, he must not be that bad of a guy now. So that's how women are, see. That's a little secret to the game, you know what I mean? But that's why women, they like men that have other women, if y'all ever noticed that. If you a man with no women want you. But if you got plenty of women, more women want you. Same thing, right? All right. Let's see here. You might got any questions so far? All right. Good night. This man here, just to get a little bit of stuff with you, man. He had a Boeing 727 jet that he owned, man, and he would go around with other people and everything, man. He had a lot of stuff, man. He was cool with Prince Andrew. He attended parties with other people like Bill Clinton, George Stephanopoulos. I know I heard that name before. Once you hear it, you ain't gonna never forget it. Donald Trump, Woody Allen, of course, Harvey Weinstein, right? Harvey Weinstein, Rupert Murdoch, Michael Bloomberg, all these Jewish people. Damn, right? Richard Branson. You had one with Michael Jackson, Alec Baldwin, and the Kennedys. He knew some of everybody, right? So, let me see. Here we go. He owned a private Boeing 727 jet and traveled in it frequently, logging 600 flying hours a year. Well, he was rolling. He usually had guests on board. The jet was nicknamed the Lolita Express by the locals in the Virgin Islands because of his frequent arrivals at Little St. James with apparently underage girls. In 2003, Epstein flew to Cuba aboard his plane with Colombian President Andres Pastrana Arango at the invitation of Cuban President Fidel Castro. According to Fabiola Santiago of the Miami Herald, Epstein was likely considering a relocation to Cuba in order to escape U.S. law enforcement. So, damn, he was trying to get the hell up out of there, right? Epstein was under investigation from U.S. law enforcement at the time. In 2009, Epstein's brother Mark claimed Trump had flown on Epstein's plane at least once. He later told the Washington Post that Trump flew numerous times on Epstein's airplane, although Mark was present on only one of the flights. According to Michael Corcoran, Trump flew Epstein on his own private plane at least once. In September 2002, Epstein flew Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and Chris Tucker to Africa in this jet. Flight records obtained in 2016 show Bill Clinton flew 27 times to at least a dozen international locations. Flight logs are now listing the Secret Service detail for at least 5 flights on an Asia trip. Oh, he went to Asia to get some of your underage women. So this your Bill Clinton, every black men love, right? Going out there getting underage women, right? Going to Asia, because if you go to Asia, it's it's a little bit more. You can go and get you a young girl if you really want to, especially if you got money, right? They'll get you your underage women. At the time of Epstein's 2019 arrest, Clinton spokeswoman Angel Urania stated that Clinton had not spoken to Epstein in well over a decade and has never been to Little St. James Island, Epstein's ranch in New Mexico, or his residence in Florida. So, of course, they got to do damage control, right? Because, with Bill Clinton, he's looked upon as a, ex-president. So they looked upon as, high regard. Even though, of course, the main people sleeping with these young girls are those people, those presidents, them Bill Clintons, those George Bushes, him and his father, all of them, they're your child molesters. You just don't know about it because they keep everything so secretive. But these are your child molesters. I'm talking about to a large scale. You have some people that do it on small scale. I'm talking about these are your ones that do it, but they don't get caught. So it's just showing the hypocrisy of America. Even your presidents are involved in this, right? It's not just everybody try to say, it's something they get swept under the rug, or this ain't just like you try to say, this happens in neighborhoods or wherever the case may be. This happens in the White House. This happens in all of those parties that they have, right? All right. Yeah. There's a whole lot on him, man. They say he even visited the White House on 4 known occasions when Clinton was in office. So he went to a donor event with the White House with Ghislaine Maxwell around the same time. So he went all over the place, man. He went with all these. He went to the White House, man. You can't get into the White House. You gotta have power and political connections to get into the White House. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Shalom, Lord Christ, y'all. So we talking about a little bit of this devil, Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
So if y'all got anything y'all know on that, just let me know. All right. All right. So. All right. Let's cue up the video. Go to the video right. Let me see. It should be down at the. It should be down on the Safari website. On the Safari, down right there. Click the other tab. The YouTube tab.
YouTube tab.
It should be right there at the top, right next to it.
It's a search, man. It's not. It will go now. Let me click. Okay, here we go.
All right. Go ahead. See if you can make it a little bigger. I don't know. You don't want to cover the whole screen like that because you won't get to see. All right, that's good right there. But can you shoot? Let me see. See if you can. All right, that's a list. That's better. All right, go ahead, play it.
Jeffrey Epstein was a billionaire New York businessman whose vast wealth brought an arrogance that knew no limits. Damn the consequences, he acted as if he could have anything he craved. But what he desired most was sex with young women and girls. For years, he abused them at will. And such were the numbers of victims Epstein exploited, he started trading them around the world. He masterminded a sex trafficking ring which enabled his rich and influential friends and associates to share in his perversion. Remarkably, those accused of complicity in this scandal include His Royal Highness, Prince Andrew. Tonight, you'll hear shocking stories from very brave women demanding justice. Among them, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who stumbled into a dark and insidious world she had no power to escape.
You keep playing it.
Till she found sanctuary in Australia.
Do you like getting high, but smoking hurts your lungs? I've got you covered. You need to.
Today, this opulent Manhattan mansion sits empty, abandoned by its owner, the disgraced and now dead Jeffrey Epstein.
It's hard. It's really hard being back here.
But Virginia Roberts Giuffre is determined that Epstein's terrible secrets will not be buried with him.
Being a kid, I didn't even really realize what world I was being brought into.
The world within these walls was inconceivable. A horror house of sexual abuse and international sex trafficking.
I was abused by people that I can't even mention here. There's a lot of scars hidden behind those walls. It should be ripped down. It should be burned to the ground. like worst memories I can remember.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, I do. Jeffrey Epstein led a privileged life. His extraordinary wealth on show around the world. He had his own fleet of planes, a private island, ranches and mansions in New Mexico, New York, and Paris. But in private, Epstein had a dark and insatiable sexual appetite for young girls. An obsession he shared with like-minded, wealthy, and powerful friends.
The people that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein included some of the richest and most politically powerful people in the world.
Including a member of the British royal family. Standing accused is the Queen's second son, Prince Andrew. Virginia, who now lives in Australia, says she was trafficked to the Duke of York when she was just 17. Prince Andrew denies any wrongdoing, any knowledge of the Epstein sex ring, but Virginia believes he should be punished. Do you think Prince Andrew should go to jail?
Yes, I think Prince Andrew should go to jail. I mean, is he ever going to? Probably not.
Tonight, inside the Epstein scandal, how the powerful protected Jeffrey Epstein.
They had enough evidence to lock him up for decades, and yet they essentially let him go.
And betrayed our most vulnerable. Do you have any idea of how many victims are out there?
I would say it's in the thousands. I mean, he was literally doing this for over 20 years.
Pause that for a second. I heard that. They said it's in the thousands. Thousands.
Right.
That they said he been doing this for 20 years, right? And he had a ring of women that he had coming in. A ring of women. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, it's all evil. But R. Kelly, he just might have had a few. You know what I'm saying? 50, maybe 100. You know what I'm saying? And he kept them to himself.
Right.
He was going around literally giving these women to other people, inviting them to come in. He talking about a whoremonger. Like a whoremonger is somebody that sells whores, a pimp, right? This is like you try to be a pimp. Black people try to be a pimp. This the world pimp right here. He been doing some real pimping.
Right.
Seriously. This is pimping on another level. We can't pimp like this, right?
Right.
You get locked up for one whore. he had thousands of them. And he was selling them to the highest bidder, man. Selling them. Like I said, that just show you that we got to have even a higher code of ethics. We got to be even better than them. We can't do what they do. So I don't know why we even try. We can't sell drugs like they sell drugs. Like you go to Chase Manhattan Bank, that story I talked about once before, where they had 40 tons of cocaine on their damn ship. None of the people at Chase Bank got arrested. You're not getting that much cocaine on a ship without having the people up top knowing about it.
Right.
They ain't gonna give it to you, right? They ain't gonna, because that's their cocaine. They ain't gonna risk losing their cocaine for that. If you're gonna lose it, they ain't gonna risk that, right? These is businessmen, the same as anywhere else. These is businessmen. Okay, so they had to have been talking to the people that the high people at Chase Bank, man. They had to. All right, you clear?
As a young child, Virginia's life was all about horses and climbing trees, more a tomboy than a princess. But then at 7, she was repeatedly sexually abused by a family friend. By 13, she had fallen victim to 2 other pedophiles.
My life just changed and it diminished that light that was in me.
At 16, Virginia was emerging from the darkness, landing a job as a locker room attendant at an exclusive resort in Florida. But what Virginia couldn't know was that in 1999, her past would make her perfect prey for Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's partner and procurer of young girls.
She just seemed very nice, and she said, I've got a person that I know who's actually looking for a traveling masseuse. And if you want, I can get you an interview with him. If he likes you, we can get you educated. You'll be a real masseuse. And you'll get to travel and see the world. And you know, like she made it sound like it was a dream come true. And it wasn't.
All right, pause that for a second. Now you see, a woman had to tell her this. A man tried to tell her this. She might not go for it. You understand?
Right.
A woman, that's why he had to have Jalene Maxwell with him. She was the one that sold all of the dreams to the women. Because like I said, if he said it, this old man said it, then all of a sudden now, you know, I don't know, he creepy. He might not go. She might not go. But you say it with a woman, well, you know, this woman said it all right, and this, you know, for some reason, women believe other women. I don't know why, but they believe other women when it comes to a dude, even though it shows that women can't select a good dude to say their damn life. But they believe other women, right? They believe other women, and they'll go along with it. And like I said, that's how he set up his whole sex trafficking ring. But like I said, this is, like I said, back in the days when you had like pimps or whatever, they always had that bottom B, right? And she would go and help and keep all the other women in line. Right. That he couldn't even help. He couldn't keep them in line as good, but he would help. She believed in his dream so much that she was able to convey it to the women and get them put in, get them, you know, to follow suit. Because women, for some reason, they believe other women. I don't know. Go ahead, keep going.
Count on one count.
Was a trap. But trustingly, Virginia told the couple of her past abuse. This was as Glenn was teaching her how to massage Epstein here at his Palm Beach Island home.
That was for them the key that unlocked the door to knowing how broken I really was.
How quickly did they act on that?
Well, so put it this way, we did the back with him, we did the back of Epstein, and then when he turned over, that's when I was instructed to get undressed and have sex with Jeffrey Epstein while Ghislaine Maxwell was participating as well.
You want to take a moment?
So pause there. We'll say. So she massaging him, and then he flip over. Like, all right, keep on going. Let's get it. And Jalene go and says she's all with it. It make them feel more comfortable and safe because she's there, right? Like I said, anybody know, you know what I'm saying, how you get women. You already have women. And they gonna flock, right?
Right.
They need that, right? Because women, they can't like with men, we don't need each other's approval on different things, right? We ask for each other's approval, like what you think will be wise, but at the end of the day, we can defend ourselves, right? A woman can't defend herself against a man. So that's why they gotta ask, they need to talk to other women to make sure that get their approval on the first, and then they'll go for it. All right. So that's why she went for it, seeing how Jalene, I don't know how the hell you said this woman's name. I must call it G.
Right.
You see where, you know, she had to get her, she got her to see, okay, she cool with it. It must be all right. And like I said, he picked these type of men can sense these type of women. And these type of women, you know, stay in packs. So what he would have them do is he would go talk to her, right? We're going to talk to her, right? And have her go tell her other friends that she know that got abused, molested, and want to make some quick dollars massaging. Because he'll give them, you know, like $200 or something. And, you know, you 15, 16 years old, and this is back in, you know, 90s, early 2000s, $100, $200 was a decent amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Now it's $100. What is a pack of Skittles and an Arizona tea now? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, what is $100 now? But $100 then was probably like the equivalent of like $500 now. You know what I'm saying? And $500 to massage this old pervert when there's another woman there that don't sound too bad for women that basically don't have a father, been abused their whole life, all of this, right? All right, keep going.
So you were abused by both of them in your very first encounter?
Yeah, both of them. I was abused by Gillen and Epstein.
At 14, I was still in middle school. I was straight A student, never even got a B. I played the first chair trumpet. I was the captain of the cheerleading squad. And then after I met Jeffrey, I just completely quit.
This was when you were living for a while?
Yes, this is where I was living when I met Jeffrey Epstein.
Courtney Wild was just 14 when she met the 48-year-old Epstein in 2001.
Gentlemen, welcome to the project. The project is a 75-hour experience. It's for men just like you.
At the time, she was living in this trailer park, one of West Palm Beach's poorest communities.
Do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein targeted areas like this?
Yeah, definitely targeted, children like myself that were vulnerable to him and his money, and we felt like we were being helped and saved by him, but ultimately he was just preying on us.
Just 12 kilometers away, another world awaited Courtney.
Oh yeah, pause.
The luxurious.
Now this will happen when you have daughters and you ain't got no daddy. Right. You more susceptible to perverts like this. So black women, this is what you have to risk. If you decide you don't want to have no man, you decide you don't want to be with your child's father because he got another woman or something stupid like that. This is what you got to deal with. And this happens. 80% of black women have been molested in our community. Did y'all know these numbers? 80% have been molested in some type of form or fashion by men and women. Not just women, men and women have been molesting girls. That's why you look at them crazy as hell. This is why. They was touched when they was a child. And think about it. That same number, 80% of our women has been molested, right? 80% of our women don't have their fathers. Funny how that correlation go with that, right? So most of them, we don't right around the same percentage of women that don't have fathers in their house, you know what I'm saying, around them, same amount of them get molested. So this is what you got to think about. That's why when you see women, they'll say, man, I'd rather, instead of dealing with a man, if he ain't all these stupid qualities, height, all of this stuff, stupid things, versus him actually making sure he's going to protect you and your children, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that they're twab. That should be and more important than anything else, right? That should be the top of the list, right? Is he going to make sure I'm okay? Is he going to take care of his family? That should be at the top of the list. Not if he got not know how to dress. Not if he got all the newest J's. You know what I'm saying? They'll look at, he always come in fresh and clean versus, hey, is he going to take care of me and my kids? Is he going to take care of us? That's more important. And that shows you that women, that's why it's stupid to go and look listen to other women. They show you to make the stupidest decisions. That's why a man need to pick his daughter's husband. Because if she pick it, she gonna pick a stupid nigga. She gonna pick the most ignorant person. If it comes to her, look at what they're picking now. Men have not been picking like the old days, right? You would have to go to our father after I had the marriage, right? When that ain't happened since 1970s. And what happened since 1970? They've been picking the worst people for their children since then. Am I saying something we don't know about? This was yesterday I seen, right? Go ahead.
Right. I want.
My God. So and you see if they leave it up to them, and you know what's the first thing they say? I want my parents to pick my husband. I don't want them. I don't want to have an arranged marriage. Right? That's what they say. They don't want to have an arranged marriage. Look who they've been picking. And then now all of a sudden, all men bad now because they picked the stupid ones.
Right.
They picked the ones that don't want to have no wisdom, that don't want anything for them, right? That's why it's a blessing this truth, because you at least got the men hearing the truth. You know he's gonna take care of his women and his children. He's not gonna leave his women and his children, right? As you had your daughters in here, and you hoping they gonna, you gonna pick it, of course, but you hope you don't want to. When I say pick, you want to have like, okay, I want to see, I want, like, say for instance, you might have a daughter, you see your brother that you've been close to, right? You might be like, I bet, what I'm saying? I'm raising up my daughter to be a good candidate for your son, vice versa, right? Let's see how they get along together. You don't want to necessarily force them. Like if they get together, they can't stand each other. That's something else, right? But like if they can make it work and they can be cool with each other, you push them to get married, for instance, right? You let them get married, and now you know how his upbringing was. Right. Now, of course, somebody can always stray away from the upbringing. You know that. But here's what it is: you're less likely to. If you know this man as a father, you know this man's father. You've been able to see him grow up. For instance, now you don't know who your daughter gonna pick in the world. She gonna pick the most knucklehead dude up the street. And he don't care about him. Right? Right. I got a short story of a friend of mine's, right? He been in his daughter's life. He's not in the school or nothing, but it's just he in the world. So he told his daughter, he said, don't pick, the so-called, there ain't no hate in them, but don't pick the so-called pretty boys. And that's what she picked that first time. And when he picked the pretty boy, he only wanted sex from him, right? She ended up picking a higher, more wild individual. Like these people in the world, so don't get in the same thing. She ended up picking him, and he took care of her, taking care of her. All of it, they didn't have plenty of kids. I think she just had a baby a few months ago, still taking care of her because she had her father's influence over her. Even though she made a mistake, by trying to talk to this guy or whatever, she still ended up making the right decision because her father was in the home. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it's so important about father. So I would always preach, like, women, if you think you're going to do better by leaving your husband, you are not. You are not. The thing is, we want to keep our brothers outside of these prisons, right? We want to keep them outside of doing drugs and getting in jail. We want to keep them out. And the best thing to do it is to have a father in the house. Right. You look at the rates of fatherless homes, most of them come from single mother households. Like 80%, like the same number, 80% of them come from there. Like 60, 80% of them. But then if you have a father in that household, it drops all the way down to like 10 to 20%. Just by having a father, not even a good father, just a man in the house, it drops down. Remarkable, right? Just by having a father there. All right, keep playing. If I start preaching and going back to camp, I might be at camp or something. A lot of
Time Epstein. She was brought here by another 14-year-old to make much-needed cash. What were you expecting to happen? Why did you think you were coming here?
Well, I knew that I was coming here to give a guy a massage and to make $200. I did know that. It was never told to me that I would be molested by this man or anything like that.
Inside, Courtney very quickly discovered the massage was just a cover for something far more sinister.
we were taken upstairs. It was like a circular stairwell that led to a hallway that led to his bedroom, which the massage table was in his bedroom, bathroom. You know, he asked us to get comfortable, to just, you know, take our clothes off, to be in our bra and panties. Were you abused during that session? And so we would massage him for about 30 minutes. And then whenever he was ready, you know, rolled over and asked the person that brought me to go downstairs and wait. And once that happened, then that's when the sexual abuse happened. Yes.
You're 14 and in a completely alien situation, an incomprehensible position. How did you react?
I just remember afterwards how I felt walking down the stairs, and I just felt so dirty and so just like a piece of me had been taken. Dirty. I felt it was like my dirty little secret, you know.
Jeffrey Epstein was the master of manipulation, luring poverty-stricken girls in with cash and feeding their dreams of a better life. By the time the sexual abuse began, many were too invested in his property.
And you see that the person that they had bring her down there was told to go downstairs. This was another girl.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. You need to have your father in here so you can say, no, don't hang with that chick. She got some issues. Because we can see that in women. Other women are gonna see that. Right? Because they basically sold their soul. She sold her body for $200. Right? And she give you that money so you feel like you got something, because you're gonna feel even more abused if you didn't have the money. So now you feel like it's the same thing with like these women that be doing like OnlyFans, right? They'll probably go out and spend a whole ton of money on stupid stuff, right? Like purses and stuff to make them feel good for them selling their soul for $4.99. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever price they is. They sell their soul for whatever it is. They sell their soul, they sell what is supposed to only go for their husband. They sell it for whatever the price is to subscribe to for you to subscribe on OnlyFans for this amount of money. They sell their soul. So how you think this woman is going to be, you know, a good wife to your son, man? Let's be for real. And she's willing to do that. This is going to destroy her. But because other women will tell women that it's a good idea, but they don't ever tell, because women, they're short-sighted. They don't ever see the danger and what they put themselves through, what they're doing to themselves. They don't see that part. They just see, you know, I get to go on some trips. I get to go, you know, to Cancun, get to go to Dubai. You know what I'm saying? That's all they see. They don't see that, you know what I'm saying, their children gonna know about this when they get in school. Their kids become 12 years old. They gonna have other kids coming up to them. Hey, yo, I seen your mother's butt crack. You know, literally, like everything. Hey, y'all seen this, and all of a sudden it get passed through the whole school. Everybody seen your mother that you ain't even seen. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you ain't seen it. But now you gonna see this, and now you an embarrassment. You the embarrassment of your school because your mother sold herself, right? That's even happening to Kim Kardashian right now. Her kids, somebody said, was talking about her kids and was telling her, you know, telling her kids, like, you know, talking about having a sex tape. She was younger. Now they know about it. So now she's even more embarrassed. Her kids go online and watch her, all that.
Right.
Try to keep it clean, you know what I'm saying? But they can go and watch her mama and Ray J. And it's 20 years ago, man. It's 20 years ago. You even 20 years old up? Something like that, yeah. It's just been about 20 years. You wasn't even born. You know what I'm saying? You got a young brother, you wasn't even born then.
Right.
When this stuff came out. And you can go and look, and just say if that was your mother, for instance, right? You can go and look at your mother, what she did 20 years ago. It don't go nowhere. And that would embarrass you, wouldn't it? You in school, everybody say, yo, man, look at so-and-so. Look at so-and-so moms, man. Man, your mom, nigga, what? Man, where I'm from, man, boy, you would never live that down. Are they still talking about that Cleveland bus driver chick that got uppercutted? About 5-6 years, they still talking about she had to leave the city where I'm from. she had to move an hour away. Where I'm from, they don't let nothing die. They still talking about her. And they said she got uppercutted. This ain't the same thing. This is even worse. You know what I'm saying? I keep playing.
20 years.
It's been 20 years, ain't it?
Con, it came out 04.
Was you born in 04?
No, sir.
Where you was born?
My sister actually was born in 04.
Where year was you born?
08.
08? Your brother wasn't even born yet. You know what I'm saying?
To know how Kim Kardashian made her billions.
Yeah, you know about this stuff, don't you?
Nah.
You never heard about it? That's good. Don't hear about it. Don't hear about it. But let's just say, you know what Kim Kardashian is, right?
Yeah.
She did something. It got leaked on purpose by her mother. Yes, by her mother. Because she was trying to get her famous. I mean, it worked. But now she got to look back at those repercussions on how it makes her kids feel. And now she a billionaire because she got first popularized by this tape. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just hell, man. I mean, but she devil. So, I mean, now granted, their kids is by Kanye West, so they not devil kids, but it's just a messed up situation.
Right.
Kanye West made a bad deal by getting with this devil anyway. He should have thought about that. Like, yo, what about all my kids gonna feel, when they get 12, 13 years old? And these are famous kids, right? So they got an Instagram, you know how people is now, they gonna DM it to you like, yo, check this out. How you feel about it? What the hell? Mama, this you? It's like,
right.
This is different.
It's like,
this ain't my daddy.
right.
Oh boy, so they famous, so they can get all these things happening to them. You know what's gonna happen? The internet is ruthless. You know what I'm saying? Now they keep playing, let's get through it. It's a lot here.
To get out. So I have to ask this. Why did you go back?
As an adult, I know it's right to run, but as a kid who had been through what I had been through in my life already, I guess the last thought that I had was, well, this is what life's about.
Epstein's desire for sex was insatiable, demanding at least 3 different girls a day to massage him, and in return, be molested. In a perverted pyramid scheme, Epstein would pay extra for his victims to find more girls for him. The younger, the better.
You could tell his addiction wasn't drugs or alcohol, it was definitely young girls. And if I couldn't bring him a girl when he didn't get his obsession, he just would get so mad.
How many girls do you think he brought to Jeffrey Epstein?
I would say at the minimum 50, but anywhere from 50 to 70 girls.
What are their ages?
The same ages of me, 14, 15, 16. I just hold a lot of guilt and shame for doing those things. And just to know that I had any influence on that happening to somebody else, just, it really is just devastating and breaks my heart.
Did you guys know anybody's real true age, or you didn't care?
I don't really care. He told me when we were.
These are just some of the girls from Palm Beach who were lured into Epstein's evil web.
Yeah, so you take my shirt off, so I took my shirt off.
Their young voices retelling a police officer of chillingly similar encounters with the businessman.
You just start getting all excited and whatnot, and you start touching yourself.
Despite these girls' testimony in 2005, Jeffrey Epstein would go on to abuse and scar countless more young girls. That he got away with it is a disgrace. How he did so is even worse.
Why did this man get to continue to roam the streets freely and sexually abuse other young girls when you knew what he was doing? This was no secret.
There were girls as young as 12, more depravity. Every place he goes to, he's already got people lined up and makers making that happen.
International sex trafficking ring. This is a real photo. And how British
That's it?
how many times we've trafficked.
That's it?
3 times. It's indicated this shameful scandal.
I used to give it a little bit.
Some point was right now.
That's next on 60 Minutes.
That's what I was trying to skip that.
Jeffrey Epstein was a man made of money, worth nearly $1 billion. But with friends in high places, he was not only wealthy, but extraordinarily influential. He was a sex trafficker, a sex abuser, and he was literally untouchable. One of his young victims, Virginia.
You think your criminals are the ones in hoodies and black masks and all that. Your biggest criminal is the one that wears suits. That's your biggest criminals right there, the ones that wear suits. You know, $1,000 suits and all of that. Those are your biggest criminals. It ain't somebody in a face mask and a hoodie on, you know what I'm saying, trying to, I mean, you know, on his corner, you know, trying to give a little dope out or whatever. He ain't making no money. He ain't making no money. He might make a job. He might make $40,000 a year. That ain't no money. The risk what you gonna get, you'll get 40 years with $40,000. They ain't worth it. Right? The ones that make the money got the suits on, and where they work at Chase Bank. Those your real drug traffickers, human smugglers. All that's your real ones that do it. They wear suits. All right, keep going.
Okay. Jeffrey experienced and witnessed the depravity too many times.
This is New York, this is Palm Beach, this is California, this is Paris, this is London, this is wherever Epstein was touching down. He needed to have girls on constant call. In every single state or every place he goes to, he's already got people lined up and makers making that happen.
Allegedly, part of the sick Epstein machine was Jean-Luc Brunel, a model agent based in Paris with access to beautiful young girls he was happy to deliver to Epstein.
Girls ranged in all different ages. I mean, there were girls as young as 12.
You have no doubt he was having sex with a 12-year-old.
I was told by him that he was having sex with 3 12-year-olds sent by Jean-Luc Brunel. And Jeffrey laughed about it. He laughed. He thought it was funny.
This is not just a story of terrible sexual abuse, but also an extraordinary abuse of power, where the enormous wealth and influence of Jeffrey Epstein would prove to have the ultimate say, where justice was not just ignored, but deliberately denied by the very people who were meant to stop him.
Every single institution in our society that is supposed to protect the vulnerable failed these survivors.
David Boies is one of America's most prominent New York lawyers. He's representing 9 Epstein victims, including Virginia, in their fight to hunt down those who were a part of Epstein's sex trafficking ring, the scope and scale of which is mind-boggling.
Yeah, pause a second. The law firm that he worked at wasn't one of the people that he was with Epstein girls. I don't think they wasn't, because it came to a point of when they found out he had pinhole cameras inside of all his buildings or whatever, inside of all his houses or whatever, and you would come to his house with his girls that he would be recording you. So now he had leverage against some of the most wealthiest, elite, and prominent men in the world. So don't think that the person that owned that law firm wasn't one of those men that was abusing those women. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, don't think it didn't happen. Don't think some of the people that was coming up against him was some of the men that was, it with him in the darkness. All I want to say. Keep going.
And the glamour and the beautiful mansion and the gorgeous island. I mean, this was tawdry. This was.
You look like a child molester to me.
This is
Right.
It's a dark, ugly situation. And behind the facade of charm and sophistication, it's like train over rock. You just see the things crawling. It was bad.
Within 9 months of meeting Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, Virginia was being flown halfway around the world to have sex with Epstein's wealthy associates. A little girl amongst a sea of men.
I was a baby stuck in a world where grown-ups were allowed to do whatever they wanted, and I was lost.
And were you trafficked that night?
Yeah, I was trafficked that night.
And so began Virginia's new life, still on call for Epstein, but also for any friend he chose.
I was trafficked to other billionaires. I was trafficked to politicians, professors, even royalty. It was the elite of the world. It was the people who run the world. It was the most powerful people in the world.
Why do you think Epstein did that to you?
He used me as a form of blackmail. So, these people would owe him favors.
And pause it too.
He wanted to always have.
If you notice, they ain't saying no names. If y'all notice that.
Right.
You know why they ain't say no names, right?
Slocky, sir.
Go ahead.
Because they got cases out on them, and that can interfere with the case.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Those names are our senators and our governors and our probably previous presidents as well.
Kind of. It's that too, but it's also another reason. Where's Jeffrey Epstein now?
Dead, sir.
There you go. They know what's gonna happen if they talk. So that shows you the hypocrisy of America. They want the Me Too movement, they want all of this, but the people that's really committing the crimes, the ones that's in the suits, they don't want them to get jammed up, because if you did jam them up, that's your government. Your government is gone. Your police force, all of that is gone now. Presidents, former presidents, future presidents, all of them is jammed up. All right? Keep going.
Thing on someone just in case he needed it.
Virginia has named the men she was trafficked to in documents lodged with the courts.
Oh yeah, but pause, just one quick second. But y'all remember, y'all know about Superhead, right?
Right.
Yeah, he's still young. You don't know about that. Superhead was a sister who was basically like this chick, but she did it like voluntarily. She laid with a bunch of famous rappers and people, black famous rappers and famous, athletes and all of that stuff. Our elite, I guess you would call it. Black people elite. And she wrote a book about it, naming names. Amazing, right? Mm-hmm. Where these names at? They only named what? Prince Andrew? That's the only one they named. But she said she was naming like, yo, these are everybody from different countries, everywhere. Because she know that she said the names should be public enemy number one. Right?
That's like it, sir.
What?
They did say that she named them in the court proceeding.
Yeah, she would, because, how do you put it? A lot of times, can you look up and see who she named in the court proceeding? Sometimes they can kind of hide those, but sometimes, like a lot of times they're public. It kind of just depends on what it is. But I think that Jeffrey Epstein, they probably made that private. You know what I'm saying? Because, if you don't see the type of judgment he got, because, because he did get caught one time and they sent him to jail. But this was like a retreat. He wasn't in no real jail. All right, keep playing.
And that has caused the greatest splash is Prince Andrew. The pair captured in this now infamous photograph taken in 2001. So as you know, Prince Andrew denies the allegations against him, and he says that this photo is a fake, that he was never there, and that it's not his arm, and they're not his fingers.
Those are his fingers. That is Andrew. This photo has been verified as an original, and it's been since given to the FBI, and they've never contested that it's a fake. And I know it's real. And he needs to stop with all of these lame excuses. We're sick of hearing it.
Probably the director of the FBI was probably there too. We gotta think about all of this. The people that donates money to the FBI head director, the person that's directed off of all of the different agencies, all of them was going to his parties. So of course they, using their power and influence to not really let it go nowhere, right? Keep going. You found it yet?
It just keeps saying thousands of names and things of that nature. It's not giving the actual names. It's giving the names of the people that were pictured with him, like Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, but it's not saying specifically who all was considered a part of the criminal actions.
See what I'm saying? They said, yeah, she named them and all that, but nobody know who those names are. Right? Nobody knows about it. They're not putting it out because the people that put it out were probably the ones involved. So they ain't gonna self-snitch, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if it's not them, it's the people that supported them. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people that support the police force. Millionaires and billionaires, they send them money every year, basically buying their silence on different stuff, right? Right. And when they do that, now they get to say, hey, silence that shit. It's like it. Silence that stuff, man. Silence it. Here go, just go look up, what you say, go look in your mailbox. There'll be a little gift in there for you. You know what I'm saying? But then if you don't silence it, you've been taking money, you've been taking bribes. So you either gonna get jammed up for the bribes or you're gonna take this money and shut up. And guess what they're gonna do? Take the money and shut up.
That's right.
Because America don't have no integrity. They have no dignity. They want to talk about honor and they want to be the shining beacon for the rest of the world. But it's the most corrupt country on the earth, man. Keep going.
This is a real photo.
And that was the first time you met him.
And that's the very first time I met him. And that's right before I was abused by him.
Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell took the 17-year-old Virginia to London to party with Prince Andrew.
So we went to Club Tramp and he danced with me and he sweats a lot and smells funny.
That was how he smelled.
And we get in the car and Ghislaine tells me in the car that I have to do what I do for Jeffrey for Prince Andrew. And that's when I learned what was going to happen.
How many times were you trafficked?
Times.
While Prince Andrew denies the allegations, Virginia maintains she's telling the truth. After the encounter in London, she says she had sex with him again at Epstein's New York mansion, where she was seen in his company by this witness, Johanna Schoberg, another victim. Schoberg claims Prince Andrew groped her breast that night. The final time Virginia was trafficked to Prince Andrew was here on Epstein's private island in the Caribbean. Was it just you and him at that time?
No, there were a lot of younger girls with us.
How many young women with you that day or night?
I believe there were 8.
Did you have any conversations with Prince Andrew during those encounters?
Not really. You're not even acknowledged as being alive or there or important or cared for or worried about in any way. None of those human emotions were attached to me when I was trafficked to Prince Andrew.
What about your emotions when you learned, after the first time that it was to happen a second time and then it was to happen a third time? What was your reaction to that?
Disgusted every time, just absolutely disgusted. There wasn't one time that I was trafficked to any individual that I thought, oh, he's an okay guy. I was always disgusted that there were so many people involved in this highly organized sex trafficking operation.
Prince Andrew
Yes.
denies Virginia's allegations.
Prince Andrew says he was unaware of the sex trafficking, but he spent days in Epstein's New York mansion where the sex trafficking was rampant. You could not spend time there and not know what was going on.
Lawyer David Boys has written to Prince Andrew asking for his side of the story, with no response. But whether it's voluntary or forced, David Boys is certain Prince Andrew will have to answer for his friendship with Epstein.
At some point, he's going to have to face the music. At some point, he's going to have to testify. He can't hide forever.
Are you sure about that? He's a very powerful man from a very powerful family, and it doesn't seem like the UK authorities are at all interested in pursuing him.
No, and if he wants to stay, locked up, in the palace, and not travel outside the UK, maybe he can escape a reckoning. He can't travel to the United States without being prepared to testify.
Is that the case right now, that he can't come to the United States?
Well, he can come to the United States, but if he comes to the United States, he can be served with a subpoena.
So, like, is there just understanding the gravity of what he just said? If Prince Andrew doesn't want to be on house arrest as royalty in the entire UK, then, if he's okay with that, then he'll never get caught. Being royalty, living in a palace, having a full reign of the entire UK.
Yep.
If he's okay with that, then he won't be caught.
Yep, exactly. So he's able, because like those monarchs, those British monarchs, they they're almost like you ever heard of diplomatic immunity? It's like they have diplomatic immunity. It's like if they do a crime, like a diplomat comes in America, they can do crimes and don't get in trouble for it. Essentially, it's a little more involved, but essentially that's what it is. The real man looking like, what the hell is? Yeah, this place is wicked, man. That's
like
diplomatic immunity. Go ahead.
It's supposed to apply for apply to minor crimes. That's what it's supposed to apply to. Like, let's say they had a meeting and they were speeding, and a cop pulled them over. Oh, you're a diplomat from Sweden. Oh, I'm supposed to let you go. They're supposed to let them go. They
get away with a lot more than that, though.
Right.
But
a lot
it's
more.
supposed to be for minor infractions, speeding, littering,
things like that, right?
But they can get away with a lot more. And the monarchs, they have like a degree of that, like diplomatic immunity. So they don't have to deal with a lot of consequences that they may have been doing. So that's part of that too.
Right.
And what was you saying? You said about the gravity of it. What you saying?
Right. Just saying that how the devil is equating being on country arrest, because it's not house arrest, because he can leave the palace, but being royalty in this country only if he doesn't want to get caught by the U.S. outside. And, you know, it's like they're equating his situation being trapped as royalty in the UK as a form of prison. Like he's on house arrest.
Which, to let you all know, there's ways to get past all of that.
That too.
So I've heard of ways you can change. Say if you get like another, like go to another country and apply for citizenship, you can change your name and get a passport for that and go under a whole different name. So nobody even know. Now you was Prince Richard or Andrew. Now your name is Mark. You know what I'm saying? And you go under that name and nobody even knows that you're even traveling. Especially if you get a private, you know, if you fly private. So a lot of places, a lot of the criminals, which you'll find, they ended up getting houses in Dubai and staying in Dubai. A lot of criminals are wanted by everybody. They go to Dubai. Crazy, right? So there's ways you can get around all of these different things. It's just he can't go make a public appearance somewhere where everybody sees it and it's documented and all of that. Has to be all the way private, under the radar, you know, type of thing. You have to have, you know, of course, people protecting his identity, that type of thing. But he can still go to other places. Don't think he can't. But, you know, of course, he's in his palace that he gets to chill at, you know, whatever. He just has some of them young girls come to him to his house now. You know what I'm saying? There's another, trust me, you think Jeffrey Epstein, you know there's other Jeffrey Epsteins, right?
Right.
You know that. It's not just him. He just probably was the most known and prolific one, that's it. But he's not, it's not just him. There's other ones. They've been doing it over in Europe, especially Eastern Europe, for years. But, you know, for probably hundreds of years. So he's not the only one. He's just the one that, because he was like more, he was more famous because he used to go around wearing like gold chains and stuff, and he was made himself more popular, right? If you're going to be a sex trafficker, most people that's doing that is under the radar. They don't want to be known, but he wanted to be known by everything. So that's the reason. That's probably also why he got caught, because he wanted to be known by everybody. So if he did his stuff under the table and controlled his lust, he probably would have never been caught. But he got caught mostly because, if you notice, he got caught mostly because of what he was doing to the women. You get what I'm saying? He kept having the women come there. Those women coming to serve him. That's really what got him caught. It wasn't them serving the other monarchs and the other elites. If you notice that, he's not in jail. He didn't go to jail for that. He went to jail for him doing it. All right, go ahead, keep playing. You still can't find the case.
Would he be?
I think that's quite likely. I mean, at a minimum, he's a witness. I mean, even if people were not suing him directly, at a minimum, he's an important witness. So I think if he came to the United States now, it is quite likely that he would be served in the process.
Coming up.
We were able to amass a whole wealth of evidence that we knew it all.
Try to skip ahead a little bit.
Power and stopping
The direct.
people in intelligence.
Why did you bring back into your family?
Jeffrey Epstein could have been stopped a decade and a half ago. His murky by and intimidation was uncovered when a 14-year-old victim finally told her parents about the abuse. For this alone, he could and should have been sent to jail for life. But no one counted on the reach of Epstein's influence.
We had no idea who this person was at the time, anything about him. We advised her that she needed to go to police and to tell her story to police.
Palm Beach lawyer Spencer Cooven was shocked by what police uncovered back in 2005 after raiding Epstein's home. It wasn't just one girl, In the end, they had testimony from 40 victims whose average age ranged from 13 to 16.
We were able to amass a whole wealth of evidence. We knew it all.
Amongst them were damning message pads, clearly showing a trade in young girls, scheduling them for massage appointments.
He has a teacher for you, to teach you how to speak Russian. She is 2 times 8 years old, not blonde. Lessons are free, and you can have your first today if you call.
As well, flight logs showing girls being transported aboard Jeffrey's private plane, dubbed the Lolita Express. As compelling as the case was, Epstein fought back, using intimidation as his main weapon.
You had multiple people that were out there really digging up dirt on not only the victims, but also the lawyers, the police, everyone involved.
Have you ever come across something like that before?
Never.
Getting investigators to investigate the investigators?
Everybody, yeah.
Did it work? Did he scare people away?
Yeah, it definitely worked, sadly. This is a man that's now dead, and they're still afraid to come forward.
But ultimately, there was too much evidence for authorities to ignore. They had to act. But Epstein, with an army of lawyers, negotiated a slap on the wrist and a slap in the face for victims.
Oh yeah, pause real quick.
Instead of
Wait till y'all see how he was able to get away. Like the first time he got jailed, he got locked up. Listen to this jail sentence he got, right? For this is hundreds and not thousands of women at this point that, you know, probably hundreds have come forward. And look what happened to him. Keep going.
to child sex abuse, Epstein agreed to plead guilty to a lesser charge of soliciting a minor for prostitution, and in 2008 was sentenced to a mere 18 months in a Florida jail.
They basically turned victims into prostitutes. These were girls with absolutely no history and no past. To brand them that in a plea with him was just, for lack of a better term, disgusting.
He was a pedophile, accusing his victims of being prostitutes. He turned the tables completely.
Absolutely.
This is where Jeffrey Epstein served his sentence, but really, he only slept here. If Epstein had been your average sex offender, he would have automatically been denied work release. But instead, being Epstein, he was allowed out 6 and then 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Driven by chauffeur to his downtown office, where it said he was attended to by 2 young victims he flew in from New York. Back here at the jail, the special treatment extended to being housed in his own private wing, protected by his own private bodyguards. So for Jeffrey Epstein, this prison sentence was pretty much business as usual.
Pause there.
Throughout this whole case.
Now y'all see that? He's supposed to be in jail. You got your own wing at the prison. So that means you're not, because you know, you go to, if you know anything about prisons, if you go to jail and you got, you know, they say like, if your paperwork ain't tight, ain't good, if you got bad paperwork, that's what they call like, yo, the reason why you in jail or whatever, your sentence. If you find out you were a child molester, a lot of times child molesters, they get beat, raped, sometimes even killed, right? He had his own wing to the side, his own bodyguards to watch him while he went to sleep, and 12 hours, if not longer, during the day, he was able to go back to work and chill in his office. So you know his office probably was turned up, it probably was nice, probably had porcelain, you know what I'm saying, marble countertops, he probably was nice. And he had other, like he's supposed to be in jail for sex trafficking. He has other people he's sexually trafficking at his job, in his office. If this ain't hypocrisy, I don't know what is, man. But R. Kelly, what happened to him? Once he stopped, you know, being famous like he was and making as much money, oh yeah, he can go ahead and go to jail. He done, right? He got less time. I mean, he got more time than Jelaine G. We can call her G. He got more time than she got, and she helped him do all this. She was his right hand chick that helped him do all this, and she got less time than R. Kelly got. Disgusting, ain't it?
God.
And R. Kelly might have 100 women. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go by the numbers of it, they got thousands on their belt. Thousands. R. Kelly just had him like a little select few that he kept with him. And they just went with him, whatever. He said, okay, you can't talk to nobody. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do that. And I seen, just to show you, I saw a chick. Her mother came to get her. She was able to get her and talk to her. And she got out the hotel and left and went to her mama and left from where she was with R. Kelly. So she wasn't being held like they try to say she was. Like I said, I'm not saying he wasn't doing disgusting things. That's not what I'm saying. But they put him to the point of he was doing all these things. But look, he's flying these women out to go lay with other people. He's flying them out to other countries. Do y'all realize that's kidnapping?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is kidnapping. Literally. In the sense of, like, this is human smuggling, human trafficking. He's flying them out to his island in the Caribbean to go lay with men. This is a complete definition of sex trafficking and human smuggling, man.
Right.
And he goes to jail. He just has to sleep there. But the rest of the day, he chilling in his office. Keep playing, man.
There's never been justice. And it started back in 2008 with the secret plea deal that Jeffrey was offered by the state of Florida.
Apart from his light prison sentence, no one knew what else Epstein had negotiated in his secret Florida deal. It turned out he'd wrangled full immunity against any other charges for himself and his co-conspirators. The final outrage, victims like Courtney Wild were never to be told of the deal. How do you feel about that?
To be sexually abused by a man and have the government know, and then actually, co-conspire with the perpetrator to make sure nothing happens to him is just so, it just sounds unreal.
It does, except it is real.
Mm-hmm. Except it is real.
And it happened to you plus a whole heap of other women.
Right.
Why do you think the government did that?
Money, power, and I think that there was a lot of people involved in this underage minor sex ring that they were running, and I think everybody wanted it to go away.
So you believe that there was a conspiracy at play here?
Oh, absolutely.
What is your view of authorities signing up to that? That they're happy to protect a perpetrator at the cost of the victims. They won't even tell the victims what's going on.
It was astonishing at the time, but I know for a fact that the directive to shut it down came from the highest levels from DC.
So I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I made
that part back.
$49,000 in the last 30 days copying and pasting.
With Epstein out of...
Shut it down came from the highest levels.
Keep going up, keep going back.
That
what's going on?
It was
perpetrator at the cost of the victims. They won't even tell the victims what's going on.
It was astonishing at the time, but I know for a fact that the directive to shut it down came from the highest levels from DC.
I heard that, right?
Out of jail.
So now they find out it came from the highest offices of DC. And we know DC, that's where the president lives at. So who you think shut it down? And this time, wasn't Trump in office?
Salaki, sir, I think it's 6.
Oh, 6. Well, that's George W. Bush. So George W. Bush, if you know anything about George W. Bush, I don't know if he was there or not. He probably was. He's like a sick bastard. But if you know anything about George W. Bush, it was a company called Enron back in the day. Some of the old heads probably know about Enron. You know what I'm saying? I know a little bit about it because I was like I was probably about your age when they was talking about it. It was just on the news. So this is before like Facebook and all of that stuff. So like people actually watch the news to get information. You know what I'm saying? So Enron was like a company that was like an energy company. So they were like, yo, what's out here? Georgia Power? They were like Georgia Power, but they was really a scam. Trying to get more people to invest money into them so they can scam them out of their money. And a lot of their homeboys, a lot of the people there that was there was George Bush homeboys. The old president that was like in the 2000s, they were his homeboys. They was real tight with each other. So why couldn't it have been he was tight with the people? Because just think of Enron scamming people. They in New York. Enron was based, I believe it was based out of New York. And the wealthy elite is sexing these little girls. Who you think was the ones that called on George, who said it came from highest levels of DC? You put that together, right? He was the one that allowed the directive for Enron, the people at Enron, to not get charged for scamming people out of their money. It was one of the greatest scams that ever happened. He let them fraudulently take people's money and walk away with it. Let them fraudulently just walk away with taking people's money. My grandfather lost probably $100,000 in Enron, yes. So he lost tons of money. A lot of people lost a lot. They lost their life savings with Enron. And they just walked off and took their money and nothing happened to them. That was under George Bush's directive. He made it so they didn't get jammed up. Go ahead.
Right. Salaki, sir, if I may, he pled guilty in June 30th, 2008. President Obama was in office then.
Okay. It could have been President Obama still. You don't know. But like just because, but you know, I don't know. You don't know who it was, who was involved, but just because you know when even though you're no longer a president, you still have a lot of power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Clinton still had power. You know what I'm saying? Bill Clinton had power. He still got power now. You see what he did to Haiti. You don't know what he did to Haiti? Wow. Man, you see, you got to come to class more. I got to come to class more. And Haiti, basically, when they had an earthquake there a few years ago, right? And that earthquake, they were supposed to come in and do they collected so much money. They were saying, you know, send money to Haiti, send money to Haiti. One of the biggest foundations was done under the Clintons, right? And instead of giving money to Haiti and helping them rebuild Haiti, they started building resorts up there so they can take that money and they took that money and built resorts in Haiti. So now they gonna make money from people vacationing there. And they didn't have to put no money, no seed money to build the resorts. So they didn't help those people in Haiti. They put up 2 trailers, 2 houses, and say, yep, help them. Let me build up this Marriott and, you know, these other resorts out here so we can send people to go to vacations and make a travel destination, that's what they do to a lot of under-civilized countries. When they did the same thing in Puerto Rico when they had that hurricane hit them. They built up resorts there. After they tear down their whole thing, they collect money from you to go build a resort over there where they can collect millions of dollars off of it a year. Yeah. We in hell, huh? Keep playing.
A criminal avenue left to them, victims could only sue for damages. In pursuing Epstein, attorney Spencer Cooven was intent on rattling the businessman.
Please what's your name? Jeffrey Epstein.
Who, until now, had been largely untouchable.
Is it true, sir, that you have what's been described as an egg-shaped penis? Well, yeah, go that way. And I'm going to give you the first name of Mr. Cooven.
It's a killer first question. What was your second question?
Well, my strategy at the time was I wanted him to know that as a lawyer on behalf of the victims, I didn't care who he was. I didn't care how rich he was. I didn't care who he knew or how powerful he was.
Was that question based on evidence?
It was. My position was always, how would a 14-year-old girl know what his private parts look like? You know, there is no valid explanation for something like that.
At the time of this humiliation for Epstein, Courtney Wild was demanding some answers too, which led to her uncovering the secret deal between prosecutors and Epstein. Ever since, she's been fighting to have the deal overturned.
Basically, it took 11 years litigating back and forth with the government for them to, finally declare that, yes, my rights were violated and the government was wrong.
Earlier this year, Courtney won her case. Keeping the plea deal from the victims was declared illegal. But the rest of it, where Epstein's co-conspirators are protected in Florida by immunity, stands. Something Courtney is now appealing.
Justice needs to be served. People need to be held accountable. It's not okay to sexually abuse anybody. And so for the past 11 years, I've just been fighting to get that message across that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you have money or not. You don't deserve to be treated that way.
Do you feel like you're being heard?
Yeah.
So why are you crying?
I know. I do finally feel like I'm being heard, and it's a good cry, And I take pride in that because it's intimidating to go against somebody of such power and wealth. But yeah, I do feel like my voice is being heard.
Coming up,
It's gonna
change.
How much time left on
By
that?
2009, Jeffrey Epstein had served his sentence in Florida, an extraordinarily lax and lenient 13 months, where he could have faced 45 years for his crimes. With his luxury properties and private planes, he travelled when and where he wanted. And old friend Prince Andrew reconnected with him, despite his sex offender status.
What do you think when you see that photo? They're just two of a like mind. They both love having sex with young women. They both think that they can get away with everything, that they're above society. And, for a long time, Jeffrey was. He proved it, didn't he?
Virginia Roberts Giuffre says she was a victim of both men. Her lawyer, David Boys, says she was also a victim of a system prepared to let Epstein get away with it. The secret sweetheart deal in Florida, proof that these young women counted for nothing.
And that's one of the most disturbing and really shameful things. That people who should have known better, didn't know better, turned a blind eye and just let them continue.
But Epstein didn't count on the anger of his victims. When they found out about the secret deal, they took further legal action, which in turn led to the federal authorities reopening the case. What Florida didn't have the stomach to do, New York certainly did. And so on July 6th of this year, Jeffrey Epstein was again arrested and charged. But this time he faced the prospect of life behind bars.
I never thought it was going to happen. I honestly thought he was just going to continue to get away with it over and over and over again, just like he proved so many times. So yeah, it was like Christmas in July. Big time.
66-year-old billionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein was in court today for allegedly engaging in sex trafficking crimes.
How serious are these charges against Epstein, David?
Armed with fresh allegations from new victims, authorities charged Epstein with child sex trafficking and conspiracy to engage in sex trafficking. Raids on his homes in New York and his Caribbean, hundreds of sexually explicit CDs and photographs, many of underage girls. It looked like the game was up. But Epstein pleaded not guilty and applied for bail, which was denied after the court heard from two victims, including Courtney Wild.
The fact that I had an influence on him remaining behind bars was just so powerful for me, because if anybody knows that man the way I do, there was no way he was just going to stop. He wasn't just going to go home and not do that.
He lived the high life, but died in disgrace.
Just a month later, for the final time, Epstein proved he would not be held accountable for his terrible crimes, found dead by suicide in his jail cell. But how he managed that in such a place is a mystery. His shock death raising suspicions he was a man who knew too much.
It's incomprehensible to me how the American prison system could, with probably its highest profile prisoner, take him off suicide watch, remove his cellmate, not have the guards look in on it. Somehow the cameras are turned off. That's just incomprehensible. On the other hand, it's inconceivable to me that somebody could have penetrated the prison and actually killed him.
Do you believe that if he had lived, that the justice system would have been able to hold him?
Yes, no, absolutely. And the reason I think that suicide is plausible is that I think he knew that the jig was up. He was going to jail, and he was going to jail for a very long time.
Today is a day of power and strength.
Epstein's death did not silence his victims, who were invited to share their pain in open court, even though with his death, the criminal case against him had to be dropped.
I won't stop fighting. I will never be silenced until these people are brought to justice.
Their focus now is on prosecuting Epstein's alleged co-conspirators. Ghislaine Maxwell, considered the most prominent and cruel.
I don't mean to sound sexist in any way, shape, or form, but I expected it from a man, but I didn't expect it from a woman.
Pause that. Y'all hear what I just said, right? Y'all, what I was saying earlier about women, right? They said they expected it from a man, but not from a woman, right? She want to say that. I don't want to sound, that is sexist. I mean, it's just reality. That's what they think of. They think of women as going to, because it's like I said, it's called social proofing. If you have a woman with you and she goes along with your BS, none of the women gonna go along with it too, because they think, well, he got one, so he's been proven to be a decent person in their mind. Right? Silly, right? You know what I'm saying? Silly as hell, but that's how women think. That's how they process thoughts. Right? They gotta go with everybody else think. That's why, if you notice, when it comes to political things, women are always they gotta go with everybody else think. Like you know how we against the LGBT, LMNOP, all of them. We against all of them, right? But what you hear on people with women, they're for it all of the time because they don't speak up against anything else. They got to go with everybody else's thinking, and they got to sideline with that. They can't make their own opinions on nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why she even said she expected it from a man, not from a woman, and that's why he used her to do it, because he's a master manipulator, right? What's the best way to get women to manipulate women? Get a woman to help you. And that's why he recruited other women. And here's the problem that we're going to always run into when it comes to something like this. If you don't punish, you see the women that actually brought him more girls for money, they don't get punished. They labeled as victims, right? Until we actually do something to them too. I'm not saying they got to do as much time or whatever, but if they don't get no labels on them. They don't get sex trafficking. They don't get a sexual, nothing, right? And if they keep going around and just, they get to participate in all the good stuff, but then later, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and try to get them locked up. Well, you participated in it. You gotta be held accountable as well, right? And that's just how it gotta be, because you led other women to them. You gotta put some for your participation too. You can't all of a sudden get into it and then decide you want to change. If you sold drugs and you had somebody and you was helping a person and get more, bring more drug addicts to do it, you still participated in the crime, right? But they were able to get off. So just because of that, it's going to always keep happening, because nothing happens to them. They don't have What happened to the lady that's talking here? Now she gets what she wants: attention, validation, and now she gets to be labeled as a victim now, right? But she helped to victimize other women. See what I'm saying? Because nothing happens to her at all. So that's why I said we gotta hold everybody that did that accountable. You can't just do one person because he was the mastermind of it. Well, he used me at this time when I was weak. Drug dealers, they started dealing drugs because they was poor. They wasn't rich selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? And they still went to jail, did they not? So you gotta do what you gotta do too. And until they have a punishment, it's never gonna stop. That's why Jelaine, that's why she was able to get involved, because she knew that Epstein was gonna be the main one that's gonna get jammed up. And you see what she served. How much time? Can you look at how much time G got?
It's coming up now.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's first.
Ghislaine Maxwell was a London socialite and daughter of disgraced media baron Robert Maxwell. On her father's death, she moved to Manhattan to join her boyfriend, Jeffrey Epstein, and according to lawyer Sigrid McCauley, soon became his full partner in the sex trafficking ring.
Certainly, I would like to see her being held criminally accountable for what she did. She was an adult. She was an active participant. She facilitated it for years and years. She took money from it.
If she is held accountable, what is she facing?
She would be facing something that would not release her from jail, in my view.
So is it a matter right now that no one knows where Ms. Maxwell is, or is she hiding out somewhere? Or?
Well, she's clearly hiding out. We don't know where she is. Maybe the prosecutors know where she is. But she can't hide out forever.
The other person who has gone to ground is Jean-Luc Brunel, the French model agent who is also accused of sexual abuse and supplying Epstein with underage models who were conveniently housed in and trafficked from this New York apartment block, not far from the mansion. This apartment block, he just had women on tap, he had girls on tap.
He had girls on tap. Jeffrey told me that he has slept with over 1,000 of Jean-Luc Brunel's models / victims.
And you believe that?
I do. We need to find these people, and we need to hold them accountable. We need to find Ghislaine. The world should be looking out for her. She has no shame. She has no heart. She has no conscience. There is no stopping them.
Coming up.
It wasn't until they
parents. They don't ask questions and they don't judge you. They just want to be looked back.
Virginia Roberts Giuffre has found freedom and shelter in Australia. She lives in far north Queensland, a world away from Jeffrey Epstein and his sex trafficking ring.
I get the way of life, and I prefer it here. I feel safer here. It's been the place that taught me how to live again.
From 16 to 19, Virginia was at the mercy of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, entrapped by psychological chains she could not break until they made this outrageous proposal.
So I spent years with them being manipulated and abused and used, and it wasn't until they told me, I want you to have a baby and we're gonna give you an allowance, but we also need you to sign a piece of paper that says this child does not belong to you. And I you can know to these people. So I said, okay guys, no problem. But I need to finish off my education like you guys originally promised.
Remarkably, Epstein agreed, paying for Virginia to study massage in Thailand. But as always, there was a catch.
They sent me to a Thai massage school, but not only that, I had to be in Thailand to pick up another victim. I was supposed to bring another victim home.
Man, kill a dog.
Instead, Virginia met this man, Robbie.
What's I have on my shoulder? I just want to she's it, that's the one. Straight off the bat, I just knew it. And then I thought about magic.
His magic worked. After 3 days, he proposed. After 10, they were married. How could you both be so certain of each other after such a short amount of time?
Yeah, that's the magical question. You just know.
Personally, I knew he was the one when he told me the people that are abusing you. It's not right. And you don't have to live like that. And he was the first person to tell me that. That's when I knew. I know I'd be with this man forever.
Robbie brought Virginia to Australia, where they're now raising their 3 young children.
Right,
Their love story is stronger than...
So you see that, right? See, like it's just like I said, it just shows the psychology, even when it comes to women, that somebody now, the man she's sleeping with now is the person that rules over her. And see that now, you see how that goes. Person that you're sleeping with now, that's the person that's telling her where to go, and she goes with him now, right? And you see how that goes. As I'm saying, men, if you can, stay in your daughter's lives, man.
Right.
Because if you're not, you setting them up for a Jeffrey Epstein. That's really what you're doing. You setting them up to be trafficked and all of that, right? And what was I about to say about this thing here? There was something else I was about to bring up. Shoot, I can't even remember. But just like I said, stay in your daughter's lives, man. Because this what happens. And you see, Jelaine, she was, she wanted to be like with Epstein, like they love doing this. They love doing this type of. She's probably the same, like these people that have like things like what's it like being a sociopath. That's who these the type of people that they are, and they love being together and taking advantage of other people, and that's what they become. And it made them think it's okay to do this to these women. They thought it was fine. It's nothing. Can you go back like a minute real quick? Because it's something I wanted to bring out real quick. Go back like a minute before she met the old boy. Go back like a minute. Real quick. Oh, wait, Slack. I remember now. Slack, I remember. Now you see what she said, right? She wanted her education. Right. Y'all notice, did y'all pick that out?
Right.
He said, I wanted to get my education. Women have been sold lies and thoughts of a better life of getting education. Right? They've been told that the education is going to mean that they're going to have a better life, have a better husband. They're going to have all of these things, and just because of education. That's what women got sold. They sell it to women in all the different countries. They sell it to women in Colombia when they went to Colombia and take over the women over there. That's how they was able to, that's how they used education to separate men from their women, right? Because it's even shown that women that have education are like, I forget the numbers, but they're a lot higher in of divorcing their husband because they got education. Because they know once you do this with women, get them education, they're less likely to stay with their husband long term, right? And there's nothing wrong with education, but it's part of what they teach in that education. It's not, they call it like an indoctrination camp. They don't call it, it's not education. That's why that's why you got to go through, when you go to school, right? Back in the days, you used to go to school to learn a particular craft, right? Now you go to school, you got to take BS that you have no interest in, right? You got to take some type of social science or whatever that you got. They tell you basically that being masculine is wrong, being more feminine is where you're supposed to be at, being, it's wrong to be a man. Trust me, if you go to college, you're going to see this mess too. They're going to make men almost insignificant. they're going to teach that basically you better off being a damn homosexual than being a real man. And they're not going to say those exact words, but they're going to play those roles to make you basically a homosexual because you're going to damn college. It's okay to be a homosexual now. All that is fine. And who's the main people that's teaching in colleges? Other women. See what I'm saying? And that's what happens when you have a society that's ran by women. They don't have their own independent thoughts or anything. They have to go by what social norms are, right? So, like I said, she basically sold her life, her body, for a damn education. Because they've been brainwashed with education. Go ahead.
According to Irwin.com, the Statistics Bureau, they said that it says a 2015 study by an American Sociology Association revealed that women initiate 69% of all divorces in the U.S. Further, the same study showed that college-educated women initiate divorce at an even higher rate of 90%.
And it's even higher now. That was 2015.
That was 2015.
That was what, 8 years ago now?
Come.
It's even higher. So I think it's 80% that that women initiate divorce, and even higher than 90%. It's probably 96% now.
Oh,
yeah, college educated women. So that's what they sell because of education. That's what they do. Education means, I don't know what the hell it means. I ain't go to college. I thought it was stupid to go to college and learn some bunch of BS, and you don't even guarantee to get a job when you get out of it.
Right.
I thought it was retarded to go to college. I went, did that, and took up a trade. Most people that got trades make more than college graduates. Right? Am I lying?
No.
So what's the point of going to college? Learn how to be an idiot. That's really what you learn how to be. If you look at it, the people that's all the time trying to fight for, I don't know, stupid stuff, they're all in college, right? So that's the whole point of it. They sell their whole body for college, for education, right? Because women want to have experiences of something and to know something. They want to know stuff. Just like, you got to look at Eve in the garden, right? She wanted to know the knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That's what they always have, a seeking of this knowledge. Even though it's going to hurt them, they still got to know it. When you as a man, you would I rather learn something that's going to hurt me or not know it and don't be hurt? You as a man be like, I just be ignorant, you know what I'm saying? Be naive. But women be like, I gotta know. That's why they look through your phone to see if you got the other women. They know it's gonna hurt them. Why they gotta look? Am I making this up? Am I saying anything that y'all have not experienced? Please tell me. All right. Can somebody get a scripture from me real quick? I'm gonna get out of here.
Come.
Give me Ecclesiasticus 26:10.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 10.
Go to 9 for me.
Slack it. Verse 9. The whoredom of a woman. Slack.
Keep going.
Oh, calm down. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids.
He's able to know men are like this, can look at a woman and tell that they gonna be a hoe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He knows this. Because he knows that they can tell they don't have no guidance by a father. Right? Like you growing up or whatever. I remember when I was growing up, I didn't want a sister that had a father. Because you know he gonna stop what you trying to do.
Right.
Let's be for real. He gonna stop it. This is for, you know, of course, the truth and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? That's what you wanted. But a man, he gonna know. He can look at a girl and tell she don't, because her eyelids, she's able to do more with her eyelids, such as makeup, than if a father. Because you ain't gonna let your daughter do that. Because that's hoe attire. But a lot of these girls, they're able to do all of this because their parents at home don't give a damn about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not making this out. He did what he did was wrong. This is how you prevent it from you happening to your daughters.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 10. If thy daughter be shameless,
Uh-huh.
keep her in straitly.
So if you see she's shameless, she don't care how she dressed. Right? She starts to get to this point, you got to know, okay, what the hell happened? Your girl went from wearing long dresses, now she want to show half her ass. What the hell happened? Be straight. You gotta keep her in straight. Keep her in straight. Find out what the hell going on. Keep going.
Lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
So she's gonna abuse herself if you give her too much freedom. She's gonna. What do these women do? Because how the hell you have a woman that fly on this man's jet going to his ranch on another damn country or go to the Caribbean. Nobody watching her.
Right.
Be for real. You let nobody they skip over this part. They had women flying with this man on his plane. And they skip over that. That's international smuggling. So now so just like how you do interstate, you keep going from one state to the next state. Now the feds get involved. It's no longer a state or a county matter. Now the federal, now the FBI gets involved, right? Now if you do it from state to state, from country to country, now all those countries get involved. You got Interpol or whatever the hell?
Right.
They get involved. Go ahead.
So, like you, sir, if I may.
Hold on a second. Let your man Charles go real quick and you next, all right? Go ahead.
Come. So, like you, sir, if you realize with the difference between the two cases between Epstein and R. Kelly, everybody said off top when you're talking about little girls is where are the parents? Well, how did the parents allow this to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Not one time.
Nope.
With these 14-year-old white girls, with these with these oppressors, these other people, they never said one time where the parents.
Now what?
How the parents allow this to happen. How did the child was allowed to do this by their parents? But from the jump, they said that about R. Kelly.
Yep.
So they want to indict more of our people as being co-conspirators with him in terms of allowing our children to do this. But this is all on the predator. With Epstein, the parents are clean slated to allow their $14 to go off to, like you said, how she get all the way in another country on a private island somewhere, on a private plane? Where was the parents? But nobody asked that, sir.
Nobody asked that.
Not one time.
At all.
Even the victims here never mentioned it.
You know what I'm saying? Every point. Go ahead on the conference call.
Block it out of one if I may.
Go ahead.
I just want to say what you hear a lot these days. It goes with what young man Charles was saying about these young girls not having the proper supervision. You hear a lot of them have extremely high body counts.
Yep.
And it's almost as if they like it's a good thing, like it's cool to have a high body count. I yield.
Yeah. A lot of women, they got higher body counts than you, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They got higher body counts than 50-year-old men these days. You know what I'm saying? They got high body counts. So I'm telling you, this girls out here, they ain't even 18 yet. They got probably just slept with over 100 men. Let's be for real. It ain't got that bad. All right, keep reading that for me.
Verse 11. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee.
She's going to trespass against you. Don't be surprised. You got to watch over. What is it? Anybody know what impudent means? Look that up for me up real quick.
Come. Impudent, not showing due respect for another person.
Mm-hmm. So you got to watch over. Don't give her that love, that respect you try to get. You got to watch over her like, nah, you ain't doing that. Nah, you ain't doing that. Nope. Tell her no, and don't think she's gonna go against you. She's gonna sneak out the house. Keep going.
Verse 12. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he hath found a fortune,
a fountain,
a fountain,
mm-hmm.
and drink of every water near her. There's no body count.
There you go. She gonna what that's telling you is like a thirsty traveler. He's gonna drink all whatever he sees because he's thirsty. That's that education. That's that education that they're referring to. It don't have to be formal education like going to college. It could be what's that? It could be that Egyptian bull mess. Christianity too. But Christianity, like women kind of falling away from Christianity now. They want to be worshipped as gods now. So they looking more towards Egypt.
Right.
Yeah, they looking more towards that now. So Christianity is kind of dead. And if they do get into Christianity, they're gonna be a bigger Christian than you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what that education is. She's gonna be like somebody got their phone. They put your phone on mute. Or playing some in the background. So like I said, thirsty traveler, man. That he takes in all of that water. She's taking in all of that knowledge.
Right.
Or so-called knowledge, right? Right. Keep going.
Come. By every hedge will she sit down.
So every seat she gonna sit down in, she want to try everything. Right? She wants to try everything. These women here, they got to go to all these different countries. I got to see this country. I got to experience this. I got to see this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. They got to go everywhere. They got to just go somewhere, experience it. Right? Keep going.
And open her quiver against every arrow.
So every arrow, what that mean? That's gonna be rods coming inside of her.
That's right.
Every ride, she gonna get it from every ride. She gonna everywhere she go, she gotta experience all these different rides. Keep going.
Verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fat his bones.
So, and that's telling you, her having the grace, her not doing this will actually delight her husband. That's why these women, they don't have a husband. He said, what Christ said, when you say you have 5 husbands, and the woman you got ain't your husband either.
Right.
That's how it was. She ain't, and it said her discretion, her not being a whore, would actually fatten his bones. That's why you see brothers here in the school. What happens to our brothers? They come into school, bro. They get a wife. All of them start gaining weight, bro. Because they women have discretion.
Right.
You understand?
See
if there's anything else on there. All right, that should be pretty much 2 hours right there. Anything anybody else want to bring out or anything else? Y'all need to read some more of this chapter. This chapter is beautiful right here. So yeah. Anything else? Anything else I want to bring out? Anything else anybody want to say? When we close it out. All right. With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer I.S.U.P.K.
This I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. Well, the I.S.U.P.K. started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to the school, there are limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to save themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. My Ashura, that means 10 in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest bond, free will offer a priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The next whole convocation is going to be the Feast of Purim. They're going to start on the 14th and the 15th day of the 12th month. They're going to be started Sunday, March 5th, sundown, and it closed to Monday, March 6th, sundown. Also, get up to the Lord for the 54th annual Passover. Get up. It's going to be April 1st, sundown in Raleigh, North Carolina, in the Space Convention Center downtown. Make sure you get your Passover fees, your hotels, and your flights or your itinerary book. If anybody wants to be a trooper to school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pant, headband, and a scarf. And with that, give Rockhurst to teacher Mini Israel, Mighty. Mini Israel, a Mighty Sabbat, a Mighty, a Rock. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Hashem, Shabbat.
Well, I said to the Hebrew, may the Most High in the name of Christ bless you. Yahanna taught me hands down, class dismissed.